This is Rugby Merlin and welcome back to the channel. So the Rugby Championship is fast approaching and all of the squads have been announced. I'm going to take a look at the New Zealand squad in this video, previews coming up for the games. But I'm really interested in this question, which I think a lot of particularly New Zealand fans have been asking is, what do they think of the squad, and is Razor really favouring his old Super Rugby team, the Crusaders, in his selection? I'm going to take a look at the actual squad itself, have a look at the players, and then talk about what is Razor's motivation and how is he thinking about his selection process for this Rugby Championship. And I know the murmurs about his maybe preference for Crusaders players, but I don't think anyone has done a real good breakdown of the makeup of the squad yet, so I'm aiming to do that here. For the squad itself, front row, you've got a very strong front row. New Zealand have really developed a nice front row. A couple of years back they were kind of a little bit light there, but they've got some great young players coming through, and they got Aomua, Taylor, Bell, De Groot, Lomax, Newell, Tossi, Tuingafasi and Williams all in the front row, and it's a great age profile for the front row, and looking very strong there. Into the second row, Barrett has a finger injury, which is always a weird one in rugby, but he is going to be covered by Lord, Tuupavasi, Tuipolotu and Sam Derry. So a little bit light in the second row, but I think the Blues second rows particularly did pretty well this season, so they might be in with a shout. Then you got Blackadder Kane, which was a surprise inclusion in the back row in the Lucies. Finau, Papali, Savea and Satiti, and glad he's in there with his epic Barnett. But the Hardy boys is compadre Samasoni is not in the squad, so that's a bit of a disappointment. Savea has signed for Moana Pacifica, which was like a bold move, so very interesting to see how that goes for him and for the team. But Kane is the big one. I'm not sure about his inclusion. He's on 95 caps. I think Robinson, people say, oh, well, that wouldn't be a, and we'll get into this later, that wouldn't be a kind of factor in his selection process, but I think it really is. You know what I mean? You got a fellow All Black on 95 caps, and you want to get him to 100, surely, so I think that was definitely a consideration. And another point of contention after Kane is in the number 9 slot, Hotham TJ, who did make a very speedy recovery, and Ratima, and Christie is out, and it doesn't seem like he's injured. Now he's the Blues number 9, so again, there's this rivalry, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, between the Blues and the South Islanders, the Crusaders, etc. And Christie being left out is a bit surprising, to be honest. He was understudy to Aaron Smith for a long time, and I don't think he played badly, but that's a big surprise actually. So he must have upset somebody, and he's not in Razor's plans, obviously, unless he does have some kind of injury, which hasn't been announced, so it looks like he's just not part of the blueprint for Razor. Barrett and McKenzie at 10, named 10s. Barrett, who has played magnificently so far this international season, and McKenzie, who still hasn't really shown that he's got that made of the right stuff, if you want. So if you're going to start someone, you'd probably start Barrett, but he's so good off the bench and he can change the game. But you got to Razor has to ask himself, does he want to win the game from the start of the match or from the second half when Barrett comes on? So that's a big question still. In the backs, you've got some real heavy talent. Barrett, and Havili, which was another kind of not left field because he's had a lot of experience in All Blacks shirt, but a bit surprising. Another Crusaders player, Ioane from the Blues, probably be the centre. I'm very glad that Anton Leonard-Brown is in the squad. I hope he gets a couple of good runouts in the centre. He played great in Super Rugby and also in the international season so far. Proctor from the Hurricanes. Yeah, I'm not going to go through all of the sides they're from. Caleb Clark, who got a hat trick in the final there. Jordan, back from injury. Record. I don't know if he holds the actual record, but in terms of tries to matches, he definitely does, because I think he's on like 1 for 1 almost. But another Crusaders player, he's just back from injury and he's straight in the side. You got Jordan Love, who I think a lot of people were calling for to get into the side. Perifetta Sevuris, who I think has played very well, and Mark Talia then for the Blues, and who's also a great player. But yeah, so the breakdown, this is why everybody wants the breakdown. The Hurricane players get 7. Crusaders 10, Highlanders 1, the Blues get 9 of their boys in, the Chiefs 6, and Moana Pacifica with number 8 there, Superman, Adi Sevilla, and that makes 34, I think. Yeah, so that's the squad for the Rugby Championships. Now, you have to remember, if you don't follow Super Rugby, the Crusaders were dire, particularly at the beginning of the season. They didn't even make the playoffs, and the Blues and the Chiefs were in the final, and the Blues won comfortably. So there are still 10 Crusaders in the side. So you have to ask yourself, are they going on past form, and is Razor Robinson going on players that he knows rather than form players? And I would say the absolutely true answer is yes. He's choosing players that he knows. Now, the second question then you have to ask is that a bad thing? So I would much rather a coach goes with form players, particularly at the start of a World Cup cycle. And if you watch my previous videos, I think Razor's built up a little bit of a cushion in terms of getting 3 wins early on. So he could have actually rolled the dice, which I thought he was going to do. He brought some great players through, young players against Georgia, but not all of them have been included here when it really counts. So he's kind of he's fallen back on what he knows, really, and Havili, I think, is a perfect example of that. But can you blame him? I'm not sure. He's obviously very nervous about the results and how the public are going to respond in New Zealand. But choosing 10 Crusaders players, and a lot of them kind of, do they earn their place or not? You're going to have to let me know a little bit. You guys are going to be more familiar with Super Rugby than I am. But like Blackadder, I know he's a great player, but has he earned his position over others who are, and the Blues winning so resoundingly in the final as well? Could they have? Do some of their players deserve a run out? And the Blues players have got to be asking themselves, like, what do I have to do, to get in this squad? Because it seems like the Crusaders players are still dominating, even though they, as I said, played very poorly this season. They picked up towards the end of the season, but yeah, it wasn't a great performance from them. And Highlanders, with just the one player in there, they're gonna have to pull their socks up, definitely. So definitely a bias towards Crusaders, I would say, from Razor. Is it understandable? Yes. Yeah, you want to choose what you know. But if I thought he was going to roll the dice a little bit more in this Rugby Championship squad selection, so a little bit disappointed, if I'm being honest. So let me know what you think in the comments, because you guys are often more knowledgeable about particularly the New Zealand rugby and South African rugby than I am. You know, drop a comment, and yeah, I'll see you for the preview videos. All right, cheers, bye bye.